Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Short Attention Span webinar. Everybody climb in the DeLorean. We're going to get it up to 88 miles an hour and go way back to the future. And talk to our, oh gosh, I was, let me think about this. I was 20 years old when I graduated. Yeah, 20 years old when I graduated college and got my first job in sales. So we're going to go back 34 years for me. All right, body blow. And we're going to talk about five things that that I wish I had known, that known about sales. Okay, so this is the start of my list, Kelly. It is absolutely worth the struggle. I mean, do we know a sales rep, a new sales rep that doesn't have that "why did I choose this career" moment? You know, where you say, I could have gotten an easier job. I don't know that I'm going to make it. And I wish I could have gone back in time and said, stick with it.
Right.
Stick with it. You know, focus on the activities.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. It's just around the corner. You can't see it. And Kelly, that's a big thing when we coach, right? People say, well, I'm doing all this work, but I'm not getting anywhere. So what do you tell them when you hear that? What do you tell them?
Well, it is that notion of, every great journey begins with the first step, kind of, if you really wanted to get, kind of philosophical about it. But whenever I do recruiting and I'm talking to a potential candidate, I absolutely tell them it is the hardest thing you will ever do. Your first year is the most difficult thing you will ever do. But you know what? It's still only just words. It's like telling a person that doesn't have kids how hard it is to have a kid. Like you don't know it until you're in it. Yeah. So you try to prepare people. But I think your point is a little bit different. It's that if you put the time in and you put the effort in, there's absolutely no question it will be worth it. The lifestyle that you'll have, the people that you'll meet, the skills that you'll build are unlike being an actuary or being in insurance or being a teacher or doing any of these other things. It's a completely different life. And if you've got it in you, it's absolutely worth putting in those few years of just gutting it out.
Yep, absolutely. So in order to do that, I think you've got to measure success differently, because you're thinking to yourself, I'm failing because I'm not selling. And that's a mistake.
Right.
I'm succeeding because I'm doing the activities. That's a better mantra.
Yeah.
I wish that someone had told me that early on. Next up is taking clients for granted. I mean, I've got stories about how I totally screwed that up by thinking, this client's mine. They're not going anywhere. They love me. I wish I had known to treat, especially these days. I think that every appointment right now is sacred. That when you get in, especially with a new customer, a new prospect, when you get that appointment, oh my Lord, you've hit the lottery.
Even the conversation today, even getting somebody on the phone today is a huge win.
Yep. And
you have to make the most of it. And that's all about preparation and being ready to just, knock it out of the park when you get that opportunity. But yeah, it is, there's no question. We can't get cocky no matter how successful we are, how busy we are. They are everything to you. And losing one when it happens to you will tear your heart out.
So I saw a press release recently, and it had the name of someone that just became the president of a major company. And this is somebody that I've known for years. I wish I had known years ago that those junior people that you kind of say, well, I don't really need to pay attention to him because, he's not a player. They become players, perhaps in other industries. And I wish I had stuck closer to more people, especially those who have Super Bowl tickets. That would have been awesome, or some kind of box.
Well, again, it's about taking the long view. And when you're young and cocky, you don't really take the long view.
Yeah.
And it is really good to have, to be a little more, look around you, look above you, look below you, and, look everywhere and realize that, that guy. I mean, I went to college with a guy who's like a CEO of a company. It's even beyond just the people that you meet in your work. It's everyone that somebody that you thought was like the biggest loser is now like a millionaire. And it's like, wow, that's such a great story. I'm so happy for that person.
See him at your high school reunion, like, dude.
Yeah.
And then finally, you know what? I wish I had known better to to do triage, I guess, on customers. That, I used to think everybody was my customer, and that's not true. When I read the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, I learned to thin slice, to make decisions quicker as to, is this someone that I can work with? Is this someone who's going to appreciate the work that I do? And, I hate to use the word judging, but you're figuring that out faster. But I guess, I don't know, Kelly, that's probably not something I could have done because, like Malcolm Gladwell points out, it's a gut feeling that has to be developed.
Right.
And what he said is the veterans, the smart salespeople, they listen to that gut, whereas the younger ones just kind of ignore it as indigestion. Something like that. So,
well, and that's a really tricky one because there's a fine line between trusting your gut and making a decision based on something that, I always talk about the story of, killing myself over a job that was $22 and asking myself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I killing myself over this account? And a year later, they were my biggest account.
Right.
Now, if I had done that thin slicing and said, she's not worth it, it's too much trouble, it would have completely changed the trajectory of my career. So there is a fine line there. But yeah, there is, a lot of times we find ourselves going, listen to that voice in your head. And if he's telling you this person is trouble, I've got that going on right now with a client where I'm like, I can't do business with them anymore. Like I know enough to know they're going to be nothing but trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. I gave that advice yesterday to someone who said that they're being, once again, nickel and dimed, and they're getting phone calls saying, well, your competition's here, go here. Will you go here? They say, yes. Well, your competition just did this. And I said to them a month and a half ago, this is the race to the bottom. Why are you doing this? Get out now. And he reminded me yesterday, I should have listened. Yeah. Should have listened. So anyway. All right, Kelly, thank you. That was a quick one that still took 7 minutes. But thank you for your insight.
Thank
Lovely
you.
Kelly Mawazzi, and we'll talk to you all next week at another short attention span webinar.